want you to sit back and just watch folks move. Just watch. And what you want to do is start saying, okay, cool. Got a handle on this. Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Hey HR. Listen y'all, we're going to talk about how we manage in this HR department of one. We got this. It's overwhelming. Sometimes we're here way too late. Sometimes we're the first ones here. Sometimes we're having a super short lunch or eating while we're working. But guess what? We're going to put a stop to that. It's not going to be an immediate stop because we got to put some work in. And that's why this video is only part one. And I want you, after this first video, to pause and go ahead and guide yourself according to what this video tells you. And then when the second video comes in, then I want you to be prepared for the next level of steps. So this video is only going to tell you how to create this plan. The second video is going to tell you a whole lot more. How we digging in, putting our bootstraps up, putting on our gloves, getting to work. So if you guys want to know, how do I manage this HR department of one and get all this stuff done for this entire organization, then you definitely want to keep on watching. First, before I even tell you guys how to start making this plan and what to start doing, I want you to be prepared. Be prepared for initially, and this is a temporary preparation because I don't want you to continue it. It's just going to start. It's going to be your start. So I want you to first be prepared for long days at work, be prepared for short lunches, be prepared to come in early, be prepared to ask folks for help, be prepared to be overwhelmed at times, be prepared to be a little bit discouraged at times, be prepared for lots of admin work. Be prepared for feeling like you're a recruiter some days. Be prepared for strategic thinking and sustainable plans. What can work for long-term growth? Be prepared for educating your leaders. These people are leaders in your organization. You think that they know HR. Y'all, they just don't. You can't expect them to. Be prepared for what comes with that. Be prepared for internal audits. Be prepared for time management. Be prepared for time blocking. Be prepared to get yourself to the next level. Just know, this is only a temporary preparation. So now, what are we going to do to tackle being a department of one? Let me tell you, the first thing you're going to do, because there are quite a few priorities, I want you to sit back and just watch folks move. Don't run in and make changes. Don't say, oh, why are we doing this way? We need to do this way. No. Sit back and watch those processes. Watch how different benefits are processed. Watch how emails are sent out. Watch how communication is given. Watch how meetings are conducted. Watch how people are moving amongst your organization. Watch how they approach HR. Watch the different tones that are happening around your organization. Just watch. Don't say nothing. Just make mental notes. Some of the things that you want to watch is, are we only sending one email and that's it? Are we going around and making sure that we channel this in our leadership meetings so that our leaders can say it in their department meetings? Are we having our CEO send messages, or is there someone else sending messages? And how are they doing these messages? Is it an email? Is it a video message? Is it going around from office to office to tell everybody? Like, how is this being relayed? Because this is going to help you see where pitfalls are. Are those messages being received well? If they're not being received well, how can we improve those messages? You want to make note of the good and the bad. I already told you guys in my organization video, and you can see that video right here. I'll try to clip it on the end for you guys as well. But in that, you saw that I had a slew of notebooks. And you're like, oh my God, why she needs so many notebooks? No. It's super important, especially if you're a department of one, or especially if you're an HR leader. So one notebook I didn't show you guys was my future projects notebook. I keep that notebook in the office, and what I do is I make sure that when I notice there's a future project, I get that notebook, and the notebook is a lot like this one. And I make sure that at the top I write I-9 audit. And I go through and I write what's good about the I-9s, what's bad about the I-9s, what can I improve better, what are we missing? That's it. I'm just doing a brain dump. Because this isn't a project you're tackling now, but there are details you don't want to forget, and you want to write it down while it's hot and fresh. So also make sure that you have access to all your systems. Don't use a login that we've been using for forever. No, that's going to mess you up in your audits later. And if you're not just doing an internal audit, when you get an external audit, you're probably going to spend money because everybody's using the same access. We don't know who really made this change because we're using the same one. So make sure you have your own accesses to the I-9s, your own accesses to the benefits, your own access to Human Resources Information Center, your own access to your emails, your phone. Make sure you have your own accesses for everything, because that's the way an organization should run, so that you can do clean-cut audits in the future. All right, y'all, so we already talked about how you're just gonna watch everything. You're gonna determine the period of time that you're gonna watch everything. Do you need to watch it for 3 months, 6 months, a year? You determine based on your organization's volume. But the next thing that you wanna do is you wanna start doing light audits. Now, you're not gonna go in there and start making changes. So I'm giving you way too much information and you're like, Tamika, this is a lot. Oh my God, every video, you hitting it. Okay, cool, but I'm not quite catering it to you. There's some issues you still have, some questions you still have, a plan that you have in place it's not quite working, then guess what? We can do a one-on-one session. Just hit the link down in the description box and let's get it rolling. Like, let's set a plan individualized to you. My schedule is there. If you want, you can say, hey, Tamika, I need you to add in some time. We'll see what we can do. I've put in a schedule that works for me for right now, but it is very, very flexible. So just hit the link down below. If you need to, send me a DM on LinkedIn or IG, and we can alter it if we need to. Send me an email. Email is heyhr@gmail.com. Let me know, hey, Tamika, I really need to see you sooner than your schedule has. But click that link down below. No, you're not going to say, oh, let's fix this, let's fix that. No. You're just going to, good example, is you're just going to take that I-9 binder, or is it in a binder? Is it stuffed in employees' files? Is it in your human resources information system? Do you need to put it in a binder? That's what you want to look at. You want to make notes of that. And once you go through, you just want to flip through. Are all these pages in here that we don't need? Are we doing recertifications at the bottom for our folks that are being rehired? Are we taking out the ones where folks have already been terminated and putting it into the terminated binder? Now let's look at our terminated binder. Are we having it classified by the years, or are we having classified alphabetically? I personally always do mine by the years because I only need them for 3 years after an employee leaves. So guess what? I just know if I do this year, that year, that year, every year I'm just taking out the last year and I'm going to start putting in the new year. I'm going to always keep it alphabetized because that's just easier to find later if you ever need it, particularly for like finance audit. These are the things you just want to pay attention to. You want to click around into your system, kind of see where things are.
Oh, how have changes been made? Are they consistent?
Pull a couple reports. When you pull in these reports, are they all populated with all the information? Is there information that's missing? You just want to evaluate what's going on. Do some light audits, not stuff you're going to dive into yet. Don't say, oh, this should already been done. Why didn't we do this? No. You're not there yet. You want to see what the issues are. So a couple more audits you want to do is communication audits. How are things being communicated across the organization? How are they being received? How are people acting on them? How are people moving from them? How do people feel about them? Are there areas that you can change with communication? Can you just put announcements all into your human resources information system? Do you need to send an email? Do you need to follow it up with a text message? Do you need to talk to people in person? Look at how that's happening and how it's being received and how effective it is. See if there's something that you can change to make it a little bit better. So pay attention to meetings. You want to kind of do a mental audit of these meetings. Is everybody attending these meetings, or are they finding a reason not to attend? Everybody regularly taking notes, or people just falling asleep on the side? Are people commenting with fruitful information, things that's helping action items for the next meeting, or are they just commenting because they want people to know that they're there? So you got to pay attention to how that's going on. But I want you to just do a light audit of those things. Don't run to write everything down, because when people see HR writing stuff down, they get a little nervous. Just make mental notes. Probably after you leave that meeting, jot down the first things you see, the first things you notice, the things that you think can help. Put those in your future projects notebook. All right, y'all, so we already talked about making sure that you don't change anything. We already talked about doing light audits, not diving in and actually doing audits, just mental audits and making notes from those audits. Now, what's the next thing that we need to do? We're going to converse with leadership and employees. What you want to do is just kind of have a feel for how they feel about HR. When you walk in the room, are they super excited, or are they kind of standoffish? Did the room get quiet? When you're sitting there and you're talking to your leaders, as their people and their employees are coming into their office, are they excited to come in? Is it kind of stiff? What's the reaction of the director? How is the employee responding? Just kind of have those conversations so that you can build a rapport. People can know who you are. People can know kind of where your mental plan is or what your ideas of the organization. But always hit on the positives. Like, man,
I'm really enjoying it here. I'm just excited to kind of watch and see how you think guys do things.
I hate to put in a change that's not going to be effective.
So I just want to see how things are going.
Any areas of HR that you find a concern with, any areas in your department you think I can help you with, kind of pick their brain for the employees and the leaders. Make sure that you're listening to their pain points. What are the successes that they have? Make sure that you realize that sometimes folks are probably not going to come out and talk to you 100%, and sometimes they might get a little bit more comfortable. So you want to pay attention to the messenger. Is this someone who you've noticed has been pretty much a pain in the butt for a while? Or is this someone that people highly respect and think very fond of? Is this someone that kind of stays to themselves all the time, or is this someone that's always the highlight of the group? But you want to listen. What is going on? What are some areas you can get help with? What are some areas that you've noticed in the past? What are some things that you think the company is really in need of? So now that you already did those light audits, now that you have already did all of this conversing and conversations with everyone, now you want to make notes, because you don't want to lose track of this information. So go back to your future projects notebook, and what you want to do is start saying, okay, cool, got a handle on this. That means I need to change this. So if one of your leaders or your managers are saying
time cards every week is a headache.
Okay, so I probably need to go ahead and start looking at my human resources information system Can they offer us some better time cards, some better time management? You know what? The leader said the time cards are a mess. Let me check with payroll. How do they feel about it? So let me look at my payroll notes or my finance department notes. Are they having the same issues? Okay, cool. They having the same issues. Are they issues all over the place? Okay, cool. So this is what I need to make notes of. Like, what are the issues that's causing really difficult pain points, that's making a little bit uncomfortable, that's causing unproductive work to happen, that's not helping us to be effective across the organization? And now you want to go ahead and see, what is your communication like with your vendors? Have they reached out to you, or do you need to reach out to them? And make note of that. Okay, I haven't heard from so-and-so. I probably should hear from them more often. Make sure that you're making those notes. All right, y'all. I told y'all that's too much for us just to dive into one video. You tired yet? If you're not tired yet, I'm gonna get you tired, because let me tell you something. We about to head into the next options. The next things that you need to do to start elevating your department of one. Y'all ready? Let's go. So y'all, thank you so much for watching another HR video. Listen, hunty, if you want more of the juice, you got to subscribe. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss it. Some of y'all was like, oh, Tamika, I didn't even know you were going live. The alert didn't come up. Make sure that when you hit the bell, don't hit personalized, change that second at all. See y'all on the next video.